Hey folks, this is Break the Format channel reporting to duty. Today I want to discuss the craft aspects of the movie Pushpa-The Rise. We will also be appreciating the choices made by the makers. While compelling, the length of the video went too long, so for the benefit of the viewers, I have cut the breakdown into two halves. I'll be talking about 10 scenes that really took my attention in the first half. So without waiting further, let's go. 1. Opening credits. Sukumar already made his own mark of showing opening credits with animation in two of his movies. In One Nenokkanne, the makers show the protagonist's musical instrument playing in the background along with the credits. And in Nanaku Premato, they show the domino effect, which closely relates to the butterfly effect used frequently in the movie. In Pushpa, opening credits are shown with a narrated animation in the background. It is the story of a violin being gifted to the bride in Japan. Very cleverly, the supply chain is shown in a reverse direction. How this smuggled wood traces back to the Seshachalam forest in Tirupati. Pushpa's intro. Police near the border starts chasing down the lorry carrying the smuggled wood. Aerial shots and vehicle drifting shots are used during the chase. Pace of the cuts is kept fast to maintain the rush. But as soon as Pushpa's truck gets surrounded, it comes to a halt. This whole location is set up in the low light area. To lit up, they have naturally used the lighting coming out of the vehicles. Now, Pushpa tries to convince the police with the bribe, but they don't get in terms with his numbers, which results into a tiff between them. Slow-mo shots used during the fight are very cool. Adding to that, the score here sounded very fresh to the viewer. Overall, this is a very well choreographed action scene, and this makes up for a great intro. Police vs Smugglers 1. Task Force DSP Govindappa starts charging into the lumbering area to red-handedly catch the smugglers. Being alerted, everyone wants to disperse, but Pushpa wants to take control of the situation. He is projected in a low-angle shot, whereas the workers in a high angle, positioning him as a leader here. Then it cuts to the short intro of Task Force DSP Govindappa. This intro has fast cuts and is very aligned to the story, showing glimpses of him catching smugglers. As they inquire, the workers see how the police are positioned down the hill and the workers up the hill, revealing the power dynamics of the situation. And as soon as Govindappa threatens with his gun, all his fellow workers group up to show the unity. Police vs Smugglers 2. In this scene, the wood logs are being loaded into the trucks. Now, the police suddenly strikes hard with a heavy force. In contrast to the previous scene, here the police are positioned up the hill and the workers down. Let us take a look how this scene is designed. If observed carefully throughout the scenes, cuts are jumping back and forth only between the police and the smugglers. 1. Police warning and smugglers finding themselves clueless. Then smugglers attacking with stones and police hiding for that. Then police firing a gunshot and smugglers on the other hand running for their lives. Then Pushpa trying to get away with the loaded truck and police chasing beneath it. Finally, it settles down to the truck getting disappeared and Pushpa getting cuffed for it. The pace of the cuts is kept fast enough to show the urgency of both the parties. Konda Reddy brothers intro. Jal Reddy and Jekka Reddy visits Pushpa near the station to find the whereabouts of the sandalwood load. Just like for Govindappa, the teaser version of all the three brothers, Jal Reddy, Jekka Reddy and Konda Reddy are shown. They have established what is important to each one of them, and these intros are very well aligned to the needs of the story. Pushpa's advice: smuggle smarter. Pushpa and Keshava reaches the Konda Reddy's event hall in their Maruti Omni. Here, Pushpa claims to have a solution: how to sneak out the sandalwood and make police turn a blind eye to. If we observe this scene, two things are happening. One, their interaction, and two, the execution. Their interaction is captured in a low frame rate, and the technique used here is called step printing. This effect is used to build up the suspense for the viewers. Mangalam Sinu with Konda Reddy. There are many beautiful aerial shots of convoy carrying smuggled sandalwood load moving through the forest. Then it cuts to Govindappa, who speaks out his suspicion that Mangalam Srinu's load might enter the Konda Reddy's godown. Then it cuts back to reveal that the lorry convoy making their way slowly into the Konda Reddy's godown. Pushpa's interaction with Srinu. Pushpa enters into the scene lighting his matchstick and tries to light Srinu's cigarette too. But Srinu moves away, showing his reluctance towards the gesture. In the end, as it burns Pushpa's finger, he accepts it. Visually, this shows that Srinu wants to keep it clear that it is not an easy deal with him as Pushpa thinks. Sandalwood river scene. Now we come to a very vital scene and my most favorite scene in the movie. Pushpa reaches the godown and finds out that the sandalwood logs are not yet taken out for transport. Due to this, a conflict is created between Pushpa and Jol Reddy. Then he gets a call from Konda, who informs that the police got to know the location of the godown. But Konda later gets to know that the stock is still in the godown and not moved at all. What follows this is a beautiful parallel narration where five things are happening in parallel. First, the police are on the move to get to the place immediately. It is shown with insert shots and some shots of their vehicles going through the forest. Second, Pushpa orders the smugglers to dispose all the logs into the river. It had underneath some cool slow-mo shots. Third, Jali just witnessing the whole situation and escaping from there, anticipating Pushpa will get caught. Fourth, logs are making their way into the water stream. We don't know where. Fifth, Keshava is riding on his bike to somewhere, and as viewers, we are clueless here. This technique to show parallel plots happening at the same time is called parallel editing. This effect of parallel plots narration just elevates the situation to high stakes and keeps the viewer in a high tension zone. And most importantly, the characters in it do not execute the plan perfectly. For instance, Keshava gets escaped from his motorcycle and Pushpa stumbles upon the ground while dumping the logs. And thirdly, with police incoming, one last log will be still remained in that area. Soon after, it cuts to police riding the godown. Parallelly, Keshava reaches the reservoir to bribe the gatekeeper to close the gates. Finally, it resolves to police finding out no traces of logs in that area and Keshava successfully closing the gates to collect all the logs. Interval scene. Srinu ordered Mugilesu to kill a syndicate member in front of him who asked for a hike in the price. In spite of seeing the killings in front of him, Pushpa asks Srinu to hike the price for him too. They are shocked by Pushpa's body language. He gives them an option of either selling it to Murugan or directly to him for 1 CR and leaves that area. Now, Pushpa returns again to make a phone call to Murugan. A close-up shot of Pushpa with that score elevates the situation. As each one of Srinu's subordinates tries to attack him, they face a strong blow and it is shown in slow-mo shots very cleanly. Eventually, the whole bamboo roof falls down. It is framed with the subordinates drowning themselves in the bamboo roof, blurred out, whereas Pushpa in the sharp focus, ending with the dialogue, Pushpa isn't a flower, but it is fire. These are my thoughts on the first half of Pushpa, and This movie is technically dense. I may have missed many things or detailings in the movie, but please do share your views on any of the above scenes. I'll be eager to read them. And will be soon rolling out my thoughts on the second half of the film. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe, which can reward me to do more of this content.